Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack the biological mechanics behind the warning signs of a disease that is increasingly affecting middle-aged and older men. We're looking specifically at prostate cancer and how understanding the very real mechanical changes in the body can help us decode the signals it's trying to send us. We'll be walking through the 5 specific stages of symptoms as outlined by urology specialists, looking at exactly what is happening right beneath the surface.
Section 1. The silent number 1. Early stages. To really grasp the scale of this issue, we have to look back at the year 2016. Since then, prostate cancer has steadily claimed the absolute number 1 spot for cancer prevalence among Japanese men. It is the most common cancer they face, which makes understanding its progression not just interesting, but absolutely vital for public health. But here's where we run into a major hurdle. In its absolute earliest stages, when the cancer cells are just starting out and the tumor is incredibly small, there are literally 0 physical symptoms, none. As urologist specialists note, a tiny, newly formed cancer simply doesn't have the mass to cause pain, bleeding, or interference with your daily bodily functions. It's only when this mass begins to physically take up space that the warning lights on our body's dashboard begin to flash.
Section 2. Pressure on the urethra. The first symptoms.
So, symptoms don't just appear out of nowhere. They happen logically, only as the tumor physically grows and starts bullying its neighboring organs. This anatomical chain reaction triggers our very first symptom, frequent urination. As the prostate cancer expands, it doesn't just stay neatly in its lane. It pushes outward, physically stimulating the bladder and squeezing the urethra. This constant physical irritation acts as a persistent stimulus. It essentially tricks the bladder into a state of overactivity. Because the bladder is being constantly prodded by the growing tumor, it feels the urge to empty much more often than normal, leading directly to those frequent bathroom trips.
And this mechanical bullying leads directly to our second symptom, hematuria, which is just the medical term for blood in the urine. You see, as the tumor grows, it needs a blood supply, so it forces the body to build new blood vessels, a process called angiogenesis. But here's the catch. It does a really rushed, messy job. These new vessels are cheap, weak, and incredibly fragile. Because they are so brittle, even a minor, everyday contraction of the bladder can cause them to rupture. When they break, they bleed right into the urinary tract. It's a direct consequence of the cancer's rushed construction process.
Moving on to symptom number 3, a noticeably weak urine stream. Honestly, this is a pure plumbing issue. The urethra is the pipe that carries urine out of the body, and it runs right through the center of the prostate. As the tumor gets larger and larger, it physically encroaches on this pipe, narrowing the passage. Just like stepping on a garden hose restricts the flow of water, the expanding tumor restricts the flow of urine. And a quick note here, specialists point out that this symptom usually means the cancer has progressed quite a bit, locally, because it takes some significant mass to clamp down on the urethra this hard.
Section 3. Beyond the prostate. Advanced spread. Up until now, the symptoms have been entirely related to local plumbing. But what happens when the cancer refuses to stay contained? This brings us to symptom number 4, lower abdominal pain. If prostate cancer is allowed to progress, it can grow right through the prostate walls and directly invade the bladder. Furthermore, the bladder is connected to the peritoneum, the membrane lining the abdominal cavity. When the cancer advances into these surrounding tissues, it triggers significant pain in the lower abdomen. If someone is experiencing this, it's a major red flag that the cancer is likely quite advanced and moving way beyond a simple localized issue.
Now, this escalation leads us to a really fascinating, if slightly alarming, physiological question. If the prostate is located way down in the lower pelvis, why would the 5th and final symptom of a localized prostate issue present as intense lower back or bone pain? Well, the answer lies in how this specific type of cancer likes to travel. Unlike many other cancers, a highly unique characteristic of prostate cancer is its strong affinity for bone metastasis. Cancer cells literally break away, enter the bloodstream highway, and very frequently settle in the bones right behind the prostate, specifically the pelvic bones and the lumbar spine. Once there, they establish secondary tumors. As these tumors grow inside the rigid bone tissue, they cause severe, aching lower back pain. It's a stark reminder that what starts as a local issue can use your bloodstream to create major systemic problems.
Looking at the complete picture, we can really map out the journey of the disease. On one side, we have the mechanical plumbing issues caused by early, local growth. Frequent urination, a weak stream, and blood in the urine from those fragile new blood vessels. On the other side, we see the painful systemic symptoms, lower abdominal pain and lower back pain. that clearly signal a dangerous, advanced spread into surrounding tissues and distant bones.
Section 4. Listen to your body. Taking action.
Now that we understand the actual bodily mechanics at play based on the tumor size and location, the goal isn't to induce panic, but to empower you with the knowledge to recognize these biological red flags. The urology specialist's ultimate advice is beautifully simple, but absolutely crucial. Because the earliest stages of this number 1 cancer are completely silent, you must act the moment that silence is broken. If you experience frequent bathroom trips, a weakened stream, unexpected bleeding, or unexplained pelvic and lower back pain, you need to consult a physician or urology clinic immediately. Do not brush these off as just getting older. These are physiological clues that require a professional's eyes, because early detection is, without a doubt, your greatest advantage.
Which leaves us with a final question for you to ponder. Your body's plumbing and skeletal framework are quite literally designed to send you warning signals when something goes wrong. Now that you know how to translate this hidden language, will you listen when it speaks? Staying proactive with your health means acting on these clues. We highly encourage you to share this explainer with the men in your life so they too can understand these vital, life-saving signs. Thanks so much for joining us as we unpack the science behind the symptoms.